louder. Louder.
So let's see first, like, who is this Ludwig Wittgenstein? So this is a principal 20th century Australian philosopher, and he was born on like 26th April 1889 in New York. So he was born in a very wealthy family, but somehow in his life he didn't matter about much about money and all. So he usually gave out this money to his relatives and all. He's not so materialistic kind of thing. And some other ones are like
Excuse me. Because you're speaking that.
So these two of these major works are Epictetus Philosophicus, and the other is in the Philosophical Investigation. And in these two books, we can see that change from logical structure to the practical language. It's different ones, pure different things, and it's focused on language and meaning. So first we will discuss what are there in this first book, Epictetus, and the other one is the Philosophical Investigation. So other books include Brown Book and Blue Book, which are in 1969, and the other one the Blue Book, it was on 1933 or something like that. It is a collection of lectures which was given by Wittgenstein himself in Cambridge, and some others are also on foundation of mathematics and their own certificate, culture and values. So he himself was very fond of mathematics and logic also. On the other hand, with logic, and in this culture and value, it also includes about reason and meaning. So first we will look about this Epictetus Logico-Philosophicus, which was written in 1921. So this book includes his early works of Wittgenstein. So here we will talk about picture theory of language. First of all, we have propositions as picture of reality. So here Wittgenstein wants to picture reality in his language and all. So he wants to picture everything, the words and what we are using the language with the picture itself. It's like picturing the reality with the sentence. And language represents state of affairs. So in a sentence or something, we are talking about some words, words plus related to picture that thing in the form of sentence or state of affairs. State of affairs means words and the picture of reality. And what is the totality of facts and not things? So here he talks about everything in facts, the reality of this race, worlds and all. He wants to picture them in the facts, and facts in the sense propositions, sentence and like that. So and the last one logical form of proposition. So each and every proposition he gives in the logical forms. That means when you want to say something about this particular sentence or something, he's really picturing the reality. If you say something like cat, you are talking about the cat, it pictures the reality of the cat. So everything is he wants to picture the reality itself in the language. So key concepts in that is picture theory, correspondence. It comes facts and states of picture. So he says there should be a correspondent fact between facts and state of affairs. There should be some correspondence between the fact and the state of affairs we want to give there. So another thing is logical space between the objects and the concepts. There should be some logical space between the between the object and the concept. Those concepts you want to convey to the hearer or the other people, there should be some logical space between them. And it also proposition he wants to convey, it should surely be related with the relation of the worlds and picturing the reality. So, again an example that kid is on the bed. It means then think the sentence like this, kid is on the bed. It is conveying the message that the kid is actually on the bed. Like it's picturing the reality of this reality itself in the sentence. So after this, he realized that problem he wants to solve it was not in this book itself. So his views were later changed into a different one, like transition of the letters, like critic of the Triptychus. So he himself writing his own book Triptychus, like the meaning and the words in the sentence. It's not only about those problems you want to solve. It's not working there. So he changed the whole thing in the latter one in this other book. So realizing of the limitation. So finally in this stages he realizes the limitation of the words. Like there are some words which we can't convey by those words and all, the picturing the reality, like love and then happy, sadness, this thing we can't just picturize them. So the limitation comes up and he wants to change this whole view into something else, like moving to everyday language analysis. So the language we use every day, it should picture something, but it's not everything, we can just picture them also. So after this, he introduced the philosophical investigation. So philosophical history was done in like 1953, and then here he talks about language game. Language game is nothing but the way we convey or like the way we use language as a game. In games means like we can take any game like cricket, football, and some other things also. But the same thing was like we are using how it is working with the language and all. There are some rules which convey in that same one, but it may just can be applied to some other thing, like some other object or some other game. But still, the language is playing a single game out there. Like language is a tool. So while picturing the reality, he wants to say that language plays a tool. Like only about not the picturing the reality, but also like language is another way. And then meaning we use it. So for each and every word also, they don't have the fixed meaning. For each and every context, the meaning gets changed. Like for a single word, it can be used in a different sentence with different context. It doesn't fit with a single sentence. So for each and every context, it gets on changing, and there is no limitation. Like in the previous work, he tells like for a single word or single sentence, the meaning is fixed and we can't change. But after the later views, he changed that concept like those words it get on changing with its own context, like different contexts. And so language the same way, and then different form of language used like for every sentence or for every proposition, we can use in a different ways. Like we want to convey something with the same word or same proposition, it can convey like different meanings upon those different contexts and the place we are using it. So here the key concepts are like word meaning rely on family resemblance. So family resemblance means like you can take the example of there are like 5 members of them in the family, and then the first daughter puts up like father's nose, and the mother's eye will look like the second child, and the third child took up something else like facial shape or like that. But somehow only 2 or 3 people are like resembling the same quality, but not all of them. But somehow they are in the same family and they somehow resemblance. They have the same qualities somehow, not the everything and all. So like that in a word or a proposition, it's not like a single quality or a single sentence would convey everything and everyone. So there should be some resemblance, but it's not like everything should be same with this all those propositions. And then complete the prayer for meaning. So the meaning of the propositions which we're talking about, like picturing the reality and all, there should be a public meaning and public criteria, like how this meaning is conveyed to the other one and how the other in many forms, like how we want to convey, how we want to pass on the message or something. And it is also based on like different words, even though we are using the same words. So here comes the language game. Like it's a game, but somehow it's not all different, but it's at the same time you can also unite different meaning with the same words. So here like rule following in language game. So rules is guide for action, paradox of rule following, resolution and community practice, and rule following. Like rules following that the same rule which we can't put in different proposition, but somehow he talks about like the same thing, that the same language has its fixed rules and all. But this one's again not applicable for everything. So here comes the paradox of rule following, and it should be different for each and every context. While putting in on if you want to convey message or putting on like picturing the reality, rules can't be just follow the same one. Sometimes in some contexts it may fix, or sometimes in some contexts it can't be followed by the same rules. Again, I have this private language. So, private language, we can say like, let's take an example. 5,000 people have a box with each and every person, and they put something inside the box. But we don't know what we are having inside the box, and we don't know what we are having inside the box. I can't see them, and you can also see mine what's inside the box. But everyone knows that something inside the box is bigger. But everyone doesn't know what is there really inside the box. So if this private language is applied there, like they have their own knowledge about what's inside the box, but the language is like it's not applicable to each and everyone. So in that context, private language comes with a problem. Like we don't know what's inside my box, but you know what's only inside your box, and you call them bigger. But I also know that thing inside my box is bigger, but it's not making like it should not be the same thing also. So like private language, it's not the applicable here also. In like when we do what public and shared one, it's really like problematic thing. Like you know your own proposition and you know your own words, it's not applicable to someone else. So language is like we are using to convey some meaning or some proposition with each other, communication and more. And if that thing is like not applicable to each and everything, then there is no use of using it. So there is a key difference between the first one, the early one, and the later one, that is practice and then philosophical investigation. When we use the language, in the practice logical structure, we have the logical picture of the game. It shows that propositions and all picturing the reality itself. And on the later one, this uses language game. Like it's different in each and every context, and the same word can be used in the same way. And meaning also it's fixed on a relation to the object. In first one, he says like the other one was social context and practical use. So it is all there like how they are using, in the what way they are using. It's a practical use. And lastly, like limits of language. In first verb, it's ethics and basically, and the last it was more like imitation but more flexible. In the last verb, he's going to be a little bit flexible with those fixed words and all. So implications for philosophy of language. So after this, there's implications like influence on analytic philosophy, philosophy of mind, relevance to contemporary debates. I'm going to specify and critique about that previous work in the lecture work, like the early and the later work. Because they are giving the whole lot of different things, like one should be like the word should be fixed, the meaning and all should be fixed with the context. The other one shows like it can't be in the fixed sense, it's depending on the context and the different ways and how we use the language. So like Wittgenstein analysis of private language told us to recognize that our ability to communicate, understand, and ascribe meaning deeply rooted in our shared linguistic practice. And the concept of language can remain a valuable tool for understanding our present and nature of language and its role in our life. Like it keeps on changing, and we can interpret it some other way, and some other thing, and some other we want to convey